chilling. Yeah, we in the house on WMNF Tampa. Let's go.
The opinions presented on the Healthy Steps show are the evidence-based opinions of Dr. Fred Harvey, the callers, and his guests. These are not the opinions of the staff, the volunteers, or the board of WMNF. The information provided on the show is not intended to diagnose or treat any disease. There is no implied patient-physician relationship in these calls. The nature of the calls is educational and informational only.
Good morning and best wishes to you, my wayward friend out there, where I can only hug you with radio wave arms. And welcome to the Healthy Steps radio show here on WMNF Tampa, the only community radio station that Randall Patrick McMurphy streams, and you can stream us as well at WMNF.org. It is Ask Me Anything Monday, and I'm not one to hide the glow of my excitement under my hat. Do not dismiss your importance. This show depends on you. Without your comments, questions, and concerns, we're just spinning our tires in the bright white snow. You give us the push. And Irene came in this morning with a smile, a cup of coffee, and the hope to take your call. Just give us a jingle at 813-239-9663 and tell your friends that that number to call is 813-239-9663. And you can send an email to dj@wmnf.org or text us at 813-433-0885. Okay, Dr. Harvey, Ask Me Anything Monday is a real feather in the cap of talk show radio, so let me skedaddle and turn this show over to you. What is ahead for us today, Doctor?
Thank you, Bill, for another wonderful intro. How are you today?
I'm doing well. I'm just trying to hide from the weather and hope everybody out there is safe and dry.
Yes, indeed. It's a blustery and rainy one today, so some intense storms supposedly on the way. So take care, drive safely, and especially drive safely today, because today is the day that we go back to work after DST, that thing called destructive, detrimental, other dumb, stupid time exchange. We did the detrimental, stupid time change again, and we're back in this really weird place where morning is dark and evening is bright. And I'd love to know when there is going to be somebody with courage enough to step up in our federal government and just say no. I don't know why we have to go through this torture, this designed social torture, daylight savings time. It disrupts everything. I think if those people in the destruction of government efficacy, Doge, could actually try to do something with efficiency, they would get rid of this, because this destroys efficiency. This is a horrible thing that we have to put up with every year based on some weird ideas that came from World War I. We went on this time change to support the war. We did it again in World War II. But there's no real need for this. Some people have said it was related to agriculture and harvest times, but we use machines to do that now. Humans aren't in the field very much anymore, except in certain cases, like in Florida, where undocumented workers are abused in the field to pick tomatoes. And anyway, there's real reasons that this should stop, because it is damaging to humans. Cardiovascular problems, strokes, heart attacks, insomnia, all kinds of things occur. But what I mentioned here was, drive safely in this rain, because your reaction time is longer because you got sleep deprived. This is part of the legacy of this stupid change. You have had a shift to a morning hypervigilance that you're not normally used to. So that's when heart attacks occur. So you can actually increase your risk of heart attacks. You decrease your vigilance. And so, decreasing vigilance and longer reaction times result in car wrecks. There is a significant uptick in car wrecks right after this change. So be very careful on the road. There's been a lot of research on this. And, our government doesn't respond to rational research generally. There's somebody benefiting economically from this, probably, or they're just so caught up in the need to disrupt us that they leave it there because they know when we're disrupted, we make worse decisions. Hard to tell, but it's just stupid that we keep going back every spring to kill people. There are 150,000 health incidents in America every spring because of this stupidity. And they have really done some good research. There are using analysis of populations, they found 4 clusters of illness that show up in the aftermath of this destructive time change. And one of those is cardiovascular disease. For the 2 days after the change, strokes increased by at least 5%. Heart attacks also. It seems to be worse in women for some reason, maybe because they are actually responsible for getting the kids up and going, and they have to deal with all that. Who knows? But it seems to be trending more towards women. They think that maybe this is due to the sleep deprivation, but I think it's due to actually the adrenal response to the stress of the shift. Because you end up putting out more adrenaline, and adrenaline causes arterial spasm, and that causes plaque rupture and heart attack and stroke. Injuries go up. People are less vigilant and their reaction time is longer, so they injure themselves at work, on the job, in the car, all kinds of things. So we have increased injuries. The cost of this socially is probably in the billions for the amount of people that get affected and the decreased efficiency in the work week for weeks after, if not months. Think about this. This is an 8-month physiologic abuse, because we know, we have really good research that shows that light in the morning beneficially affects our physiology, and light at night negatively affects it. So we set up an 8-month scenario where we torture our physiology with inappropriate lighting, because we changed the time arbitrarily, capriciously, and stupidly every freaking spring. We need to look at this as a massive public health concern, not an economic thing. That's what the Department of Transportation is actually overseeing this. Is that ridiculous or what? What does the Department of Transportation have to do with timing of the light? It's a joke. It's like having the Department of Agriculture be responsible for, what is it? They're responsible for medical cannabis in Florida? Seriously? Some things. But there's also a huge impact mentally and behaviorally. It actually increases anxiety, it increases depression, it increases agitation, and causes real problems. We need to stop this behavioral, mental, emotional abuse. We're concerned about mental health issues, but we're actually leaving this one on the books to continue torture. Another craziness. And immune situations occur because of this change. People in the weeks after the change have increases in enteritis and colitis. We also notice that people get more colds and other infections. It's just really damaging. And it's time for us to have a conversation with our representatives, with our, even the president. President Trump seems to like to do, crazy random things. This would be a perfect executive order. He could have done it before this weekend, but now we've already had the damage this year, but he could end it. Like, we could go back to regular time the moment he would give an executive order. It would happen overnight. It would be really interesting to have the change back, which is less damaging, actually. And then we'd be free for the rest of the year to live a normal life, and then maybe forever to continue doing so. I would love to see this change, because it is one of the most idiotic things our government enforces upon us. That said, I'd like to talk with some people today, and I think this is the station to do it and the time to do it. Healthy Steps Show on WMNF Tampa.
Absolutely. And I'm just getting a couple of callers on in, coincidentally enough. And I want to remind folks that you too can participate in this show, the Healthy Steps Radio Show with Dr. Fred Harvey here on WMNF Tampa. just give us a call at 813-239-9663 or continue to send your emails to dj@wmnf.org. I'm going to take a guess at this being Jerry from St. Pete. Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning. Hey, great job again, folks. Thanks for keeping it going. So, maybe the president's not getting enough sunlight.
Well, that orange spray tan may block a lot of UVs getting in.
So, Doc, I'm going to throw a couple things out, and then you can talk about whatever you want, okay? And I can take it off the air, okay?
Okay.
So, there was an outstanding thing about time on NPR, this incredible time thing. I can't remember what program it was on, but I think you would really enjoy it. It was all about the evolution of time. But what I want to focus on health-wise is, so here are the topics. Number one is red light therapy.
Okay.
I want you to talk about the cutting-edge issues of laser applications. That's number two. And number three, I heard this program on, I think it's called Instasia, where there was this revolutionary breakthrough about new cellular pathways. It's specifically regarding to cancer treatment, where they're finding these linear pathways. I think the term is called Instasia. And if you're familiar, you can talk about any of those. Okay?
Okay. Sounds great.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
See ya.
See you. Yes, and hope you like the answers. The last one, I'm not sure about. That's something I'll have to do some research on. But red light and laser, that's kind of one big, broad topic, and it's really exciting. We are seeing that, we have the understanding that we are all energy. Everything is energy. And at its very basis, all pharmaceutical intervention is energy. Every molecule that we ingest is energy. It's just actually coalesced energy. It is organized energy to the point where we can actually see it as something physical. And all of these physically present energetic things are actually subject to energetic variation. We can change the vibration of things with other vibration. Laser light is coherent vibration. Laser light is unlike regular light in that it is a cohesive single frequency beam of light. It is very organized. It's the most organized light that you can get. And every frequency that the light presents in has a different function. And so we have found that there are several really powerful wavelengths in laser light. I think the one is around 890, and the 890 nanometer, I think, is the actual wavelength, and it is a very powerful in the body because it signals to your body's tissues to do some actions that are very beneficial. So the red lights, which are often LEDs, light emitting diodes that are actually producing very cohesive light in a specific frequency, but not quite like a laser. It's a different technology, but they still can give you very similar frequencies. And these frequencies at different powers can penetrate your body to different depths. When you have a very powerful, like 5-watt laser that they can use if you use a focused beam to do plastic surgery with and, resurface your entire face. If you use a non-focused beam, a diffusing beam, it doesn't burn, but it heats and it goes deep. And you can get a centimeter or two into the skin, under the skin, into the tissues, and it signals to your blood vessels to begin growing and bring new nutrients and oxygen into the area. And it also signals to your immune cells to act differently, and it signals to your fibroblasts, the cells that make collagen and pull your tissue together, tells them to be active and rebuild tissue. So you can heal damaged tissues using laser, nutrition, and proper exercise to realign the tissues. It's how I fixed my rotator cuff tears. The laser is a very potent tool to help you rebuild your body, reduce pain, change neuropathy. There is so much data there. And now I just saw one of my plastic surgeon friends who is marketing a mask that has these red lights on it to help rejuvenate your facial structures. It can do that. It's not a cure for anything, but it will actually help your skin get a little tighter because it helps to get more blood flow into the subdermis, the underskin layer, and also helps collagen to form and make the skin a bit tighter. So there are vast benefits, and we're going to see more and more of them. In fact, other colors, a different frequency. There's a green laser they're using for prostate surgery now that results in much less bleeding when a man has to have his prostate size reduced because he can't urinate at night. And so there are some really cool things. We're going to see more and more applications of energy rather than the use of pharmaceuticals going forth. To reflect back, when we first started using radiation, which is energy, to alter things, we found that it worked, but it also had serious complications. And so that's part of the issue, is we need to actually really pay attention to what these things can do. Because if the laser is misused, you can get burned. If the radiation is misused, you can get reburned. Radiation is often, it's very powerful. It's the most potent kind of beams we can use. And so they're very damaging. We want to reserve those for the very last resort. I hope that answers the question.
All righty. Yes, I do have other callers, though, and I want to remind people that if you are just tuning on in, thank you, and welcome to the Healthy Steps Radio Show with Dr. Fred Harvey here on WMNF Tampa. You can call in at 813-239-9663. Again, that number is 813-239-9663. And folks that have called on in are Nancy and Linda. Let's go to Nancy in St. Pete.
Good morning, Nancy.
Dr. Harvey. Hi. I spoke with you not long ago and told you about what was going on with me. And so I tried to follow up with your suggestion of Medival testing, I think it was called. So when I called my doctor, I'm limited income, and he said that's a boutique lab and I can't do it. So then I got in touch.
Hey, let me interrupt right there. That says that your doctor doesn't want to be bothered, because Genova Diagnostics is a Medicare certified, CLIA certified lab that takes Medicare. And I don't know, it sometimes takes some private insurance, but all it takes is a doctor's order. And so that's basically you being told, I don't want to bother helping you.
Okay, so that, because I think my memory is really not good, but I think I called Humana too, and they gave me the same sort of response that they blah, blah, blah. I had to have, okay, so he has to give me an okay to get, okay, here's the second thing, is that it looked like it was only offered in certain locations, that certain test. I didn't understand that.
It's offered in most of the nation, but New York State is a very bizarre, I think, kind of racketeering state. You can't do labs like I can do in Florida, in New York, without getting permission from a weird commission that I believe has to be paid off. I think it's a racketeering thing, because New York is the only state I know of that prevents you from accessing labs that are, high-level labs. Like CLIA. So CLIA is the board that certifies people to get paid by Medicare doing laboratory work. So if you're certified by CLIA, you've been vetted by like the highest agency that allows this to happen. So if you can get paid by Medicare, the only reason Humana won't do it is because they're money-grubbing thieves that won't allow you to get access to something that is a valuable and valid clinical test that's proven to be real, and they won't let you have it because they need to profit off of you.
Absolutely. Don't get me started, because, people with no money are going to die, and people with a ton of money are going to live long lives, and that's what I've decided. And it's totally inhumane, and don't get me started on it, because don't even go.
Yes,
there.
we live in a dog eat dog and Randian kind of world where, yes, the elite do have access to stuff that everybody else doesn't.
Yeah, so I've accepted that. I don't care. I have had a great life. When I die, fine. I just want to be active. I swim, I run, I walk. That's all I care about. So the other thing was it was recommended by my acupuncturist that I do this $400 stomach thing, colon thing, that's going to tell him everything about what's going on. If I have parasites, if I have candida, this, blah, blah, blah. $400. And I said, I'll call you Humana. And I say to them, okay, is there something that will tell me everything about my gut? They had no clue. It was like, well, what do I do now?
So a suggestion. Well, if you're going to consider $400 for simply a poop test versus the $400 for the NutriEval, which actually has within it the same information about your gut without having to do the poop test, and so much more information that there's no possibility you'll know everything about what's going on with just a poop test, but you could know quite a lot with the NutriEval. If you're going to actually spend $400, the better test is the NutriEval from Genova.
Okay, got it. Now, what about in Florida? Where do I go to get this test?
Well, you could probably go to any lab test now since they draw things, but you'd have to get a doctor to actually order the test. Now, any lab test now may be able to access that for you because they have a doctor that orders all their tests. That's the way people can actually get them. This doctor doesn't interpret them, but he just provides his license so you can actually go and get a test that you want to get.
Okay, so who's going to interpret it if my doctor doesn't do that?
Well, there's an interpretation guide that is associated with the test, but you probably should go and talk to a functional medicine doctor or somebody who actually understands how to interpret the test.
Okay, so you're in Sarasota, I'm in St. Pete. How much do you charge? Can you tell me that for a first-time visit where we can talk about this? Are you out?
No, I can't talk about that on here, but you can always contact Functional Medicine Florida to find out.
I called your office, by the way, and left a message, and I never heard back from anybody, but that's okay. I understand. But, okay, well,
That's unusual.
I'm still confused. Yeah, I know.
My office manager's usually quite on that, and so I'm sorry you didn't get a call back.
Well, I'll take a little credit. I mean, I will say I could have gotten a call and didn't pick it up or something, but I don't have a voicemail from him anyway. But I trust what you're saying is true. But, okay, so I'm still totally confused. I guess what the bottom line is, I have to go to a functional medicine doctor, and I have to get the test ordered through them probably because my doctor is saying he doesn't do it.
Or you could go to any lab test now and get the test and then go to a functional medicine doctor. But the bottom line is you need a doctor to help you interpret it. And it would probably be the best investment that you made in your health because you're seeing illness care doctors. You're not seeing health care practitioners.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I go to an acupuncturist and a carp and all that, but yes, I agree with you. All right. Okay. Well, I'll just have to work it out. So, but I could work. Do you know what lab actually would do this for me? What company? It's called
Genova Diagnostics, and actually, your acupuncturist in the state of Florida has the ability to order labs like that. So you might actually ask your acupuncture person.
But I still don't know where the lab is. I don't know where in St. Petersburg or wherever it is.
Yeah, you put it into a Google search, any lab test now, and you will find locations.
Okay, I don't think they had a local one, but they must because you're using.
They have them globally. I've seen in every city in the country.
Well, I'm talking about St. Petersburg, Florida is what I'm asking about.
Yeah, and there's an any lab test now in St. Petersburg because I've had people use it.
Okay, that's all I needed to hear. Okay, and it's called Any Lab. What did you say? Look for the
Any Lab Test Now.
Any Lab Test Now. Okay, got it. Okay, thank you very much, doctor. I won't take up any more of your time.
Best wishes, Nancy.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
And thank you, Nancy, for calling on in. I want to have other people participate as well. There's only a half an hour left in the show. The Healthy Steps radio show with Dr. Fred Harvey here on WMNF Tampa. Give us a call, 813-239-9232. 813-239-9663. That number again, 813-239-9663. I've got Linda in Pasco County and Ann in Gulfport, so let's go to Linda. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning. I have a question about allergies. I'm outside a lot, and my allergies are just driving me nuts now. And I was wondering, is there a blood test that I can do to find out what's going on?
Yes, there are blood tests for both airborne and food-associated sensitivities and allergies. But I think that it will take a while for you to get results and move forward. My suggestion is that you start treating the reaction now. And there are some really great things out there that can stabilize your system so you don't react as much. One of them is called stinging nettle leaf. An extract of stinging nettle leaf I've been using for probably 20 years, and I take it every day and twice a day during the peak season, which is now through like May in Florida. The other very helpful things could include some proteolytic enzymes like bromelain, N-acetylcysteine. NAC is a chemical that it's a nutrient, an amino acid that helps to thin out your mucus. Vitamin C helps to stabilize your nasal mucosa. And the stinging nettle helps to reduce the reactivity of your mast cells. Another thing that could be useful is to use a non-decongestant antihistamine, because even though the things that I mentioned, including quercetin. Quercetin is another good mast cell stabilizer. Even though you do that, you'll still have a reaction and you'll still put out histamine. So taking an antihistamine to block that, a non-sedating one like loratadine or phenofexidine or fexofenadine, these are non-sedating, non-drowsy antihistamines that can help block some of that. I don't like the decongestants because their speed. Pseudoephedrine causes arrhythmias and irritation, and so I tend to avoid that and avoid recommending that. But a neti pot, a daily rinse of your nose when you come in from the garden is a really good idea to clean away that pollen and particulate so that you have a little less to deal with. And then you could use, if necessary, a nasal steroid like Flonase for a couple of weeks to calm it down. I found that doing the other technique, I don't need to use nasal steroids like I did 20 years ago.
Okay. Can you tell me what I could do for my eyes? You just want to claw your eyes out of your head. Can I wash them with something?
Yes.
Like lubricate it or something?
Yeah, you could get a nice eye wash that's salt water based, and you can use, there's a very nice homeopathic eye drop from, I think it's called Similisan, Similisan. And they have an eye drop that's so soothing. I've used it when my eyes have been really irritated in the desert and in really high pollen situations. It works very quickly. So that's another possibility.
Could I put some Vaseline or some kind of oil or something like that on the skin around your eye, or no?
Well, I guess if you're having eczema and red itchiness around there, that might help. But if it's getting that bad, I would get a doctor to look at that. But Vaseline isn't going to help your allergies at all.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Have a good week.
You're welcome. Hope you feel better.
Take care. Thank you. Me too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yes, Linda, I believe you've addressed a problem that all of us have this time of year. I've got Ann in Gulfport, Juan in Sarasota, and Jim in Riverview. Let's go to Ann in Gulfport. Good morning, Ann.
Hello, Ann.
Hello.
How are you, Ann? Can you hear us?
Okay, I'm going to put her on hold, come back to her, and we'll go to Juan in Sarasota. Good morning, Juan.
Hi there. Good morning, guys. This is not so much of a question. I just wanted to provide some more resources for the woman who had questions about the Nutrival test, because as Dr. Harvey was saying, it is a very, very valuable test. And if you don't have a functional medicine doctor who will order it for you, like Dr. Harvey said, you can have that Genova Nutrival test drawn at an Any Lab Test Now location. And once you have your Nutrival results, you can actually schedule a consult with Genova Diagnostics, the company who does the test, and they will review the test with you. They will interpret it for you if you don't have a functional medicine doctor at your disposal. So that's all I wanted to share with you guys. Thanks, Dr. Harvey, for doing the show. Thanks, WMNF, for hosting it. And everybody have a beautiful and lovely Monday. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Juan, for that extra information. That surely will help her.
Yes, absolutely. I love it when our listeners are able to participate with information to move us along. Let's try Ann one more time. Good morning, Ann.
Hi, are you there?
Yes, hello, Ann.
This is Ann. Hi, Guy. Good to talk to you. I just have a quick and easy question. You've referenced quite often in the past detoxing for toxins, and I'd like to get some recommendations. Have you got a book that you know of? Lymphatic massage, cupping, juice fast? What would you recommend for a beginner who's never done any of that before?
That's a great question. I would avoid doing juice fasts because we have recent data that suggests that even a 24-hour juice fast is going to disrupt your gastrointestinal microbiome and increase the inflammatory potential of those bugs. So we don't want to do a juice fast. My approach to detoxification starts with eliminating the toxins. And so if you tend to shop in the middle of the grocery store, your first step is to walk to the periphery and stop paying attention to the boxes and the cans and the bags and go around the outside and get whole foods. When you eat whole foods and you pay attention to the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15, the Dirty Dozen, and there's like 14 or 15 things on the Dirty Dozen list of foods to avoid because of high pesticide and herbicide residues. There's also the Clean 15 of the fruits and vegetables that you don't need to buy organic because they aren't contaminated. They don't spray onions and garlic because nothing eats them. They rarely spray broccoli because nothing attacks it. So that's the first step. And then you also need to clean up your water source. If you're actually drinking tap water, you need to get a filter, even if it's a basic one. That's the step away from toxins. If you're smoking, stop it. If you're vaping, stop it. These are all toxins. If you're drinking sodas or anything that has artificial color, sweetener, or flavor in it, then you need to stop it. Get rid of the toxins. Stop using fragrances because fragrances are actually petrochemical, xenobiotic, hormone manipulating toxins. And we need to stop pretending like we smell good when we cover ourselves with stinkum that kills us. It's a serious cultural issue that we have where people plug in things in their walls that toxify their environment in the whole sake of having it smell good. That's insanity.
Right.
So the next step is to make sure that you're getting good sleep. You need to get 8 hours of sleep at night. Without a sleep aid, a pharmaceutical sleep aid, they've shown that sleeping pills like Ambien, Zolpidem, actually change the way your brain filters toxins out. It actually stops the toxin cleaning process, so your brain starts to deteriorate more when you take these things. Look at the amount of medications you're taking and question whether you need all of them if you're actually taking medications. Begin a basic nutrient support with a good multivitamin, vitamin C, vitamin D, coenzyme Q10, a probiotic that helps your bowels eliminate more toxins, and fish oil to give yourself an oil change, to get rid of the rancid, toxic oils that have petrochemical herbicides, pesticides, and fragrances stuck in them. This is really the direct approach to detox. You don't need to worry about your parasites everybody has parasites at some point in time, and nobody seems to die from them unless they're a sick person anyway. Parasites tend to be opportunists in already damaged bodies. So we don't have to actually, the vision I have of many people worried about a detox is that they're going to be on a toilet for 3 days. And that's not the way it works. But another valuable thing you can add for your detox is something called drainage. It's a homeopathic remedy I've been using for 20 years that just signals to your energetic body to let go of toxic influences. And it just starts the process going.
Great. Okay.
That's pretty much the basic foundational detox.
Okay. Do you have any value, feel like there's any value in lymphatic massage, cupping, any of those types of hands-on therapies?
I think that actually walking for 30 minutes a day does as much as lymphatic drainage could do. Rebounding on your little trampoline can do that. Going for a swim, going for a bike ride, all of these things are actually doing lymphatic drainage.
Okay, excellent. Good. Hey, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Perfect. I appreciate you. You have a good day.
You too, Ann. Get detoxed.
I am. You know it. I've already got drainage. I got that when I did the consult with you, and so I guess I need to get back in and order some more because it's about all gone.
Excellent. Yes, I've used it for 20 years myself.
Well, I'm going to re-up some. I'm down to the last few drops. Thanks. Appreciate your
You're
help.
so welcome.
Alrighty. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And thank you very much there, Ann. Let's go to Jim in Riverview. Good morning, Jim.
Hello.
Hello, Jim.
Hey, doctor. I have spoke to you once or twice before, but I wanted to ask you, recently I was just diagnosed with AFib.
Yes.
And I've been seeing a couple doctors, and my AFib specialist doctor I went to last, and I asked him if I could take omega-3. And he said I could. Well,
yes.
All the research I looked at it says not to take omega-3 if you have AFib. So I'm confused.
Right. It can be confusing. There are different forms of fish oil, and I believe that the one that caused the problem is, let's see, I think it's the one that had triglycerides. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm taking one that has something like DNH in it and something else.
EPA and DHA are the two major.
I'm actually taking the one that I did the research on. It's like the number one omega-3 out there. So I started taking. I was going to take 2,000 milligrams a day, and I started just taking one because after I did research, it kind of scared me. But when I asked the doctor, he said it would be okay.
Yes, and it is okay. And you might want to actually monitor the level of fish oil in your body. You can get an omega check from Quest Labs. There are many labs that do it. But the way they did the meta-analysis that looks at these people that may have had more atrial fibrillation doesn't actually take into account what kind of fish oil, because there is some evidence that contaminated fish oil with mercury will actually cause arrhythmia. And there's also some evidence that ethyl esterified fish oil can actually cause it too. And I don't know that they actually broke it down. It seems to be just looking at an epidemiologic study of a bunch of people that took fish oil. And so that's not fair to an analysis of what people actually take, because I see many different types of available fish oil.
So you think I'd be okay taking it?
Yeah, because it seems that you already have atrial fibrillation. So the issue is, what caused it really? Were you taking 6 grams of fish oil a day that caused this?
No, I wasn't taking anything.
Okay, so what's the cause of it? Is it alcohol or is it sleep apnea?
they never really said anything to me what it was.
Well, that's a problem. That's a real problem with Western medicine, and they don't look for cause. They just want to give you an ablation and treat the problem that's caused by something they aren't even going to treat, and you can die from. So if nobody suggests, do you use too much alcohol?
I drink I drink a few drinks every night.
So how many, what do you drink?
Crown and Diet Pepsi.
So do you measure it?
No.
Okay, so how many fingers do you put in a glass, and how many glasses do you have?
I mean, I don't know. I just kind of pour some in there and some soda, and I probably drink, 3 to 4.
All right. So you may be getting 3 to 6 ounces of alcohol, let's say. And then you're using Diet Coke with that, you say?
Diet Pepsi.
Yeah, that in itself is a poison toxin because it's filled with these artificial sweeteners that cause cancer, brain rot, dementia, all kinds of wonderful things, and heart attacks. But the alcohol is your cause for atrial fibrillation.
Really?
And so you have poisoned the electrical system of your heart, and now you need to stop it. I think your treatment for atrial fibrillation is abstention from alcohol for the rest of your life.
Gotcha. Okay, and can I ask you one more quick question?
Sure.
Why I'm a diabetic, diabetes 2, but
yes.
I've weaned myself off of medicine all except Mounjaro. That's the only thing I take. I quit my metformin, my regular Lantus, all of it, by going on a kind of a eating properly, okay? I eat a lot of veggies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For some reason, when I sleep at night, my blood sugar seems to drop.
Okay.
I don't know why it drops only at night like that. Only when I sleep.
Alcohol consumption can increase the risk of hypoglycemia due to the weird effects it has on insulin sensitivity and glucose metabolism. It inhibits gluconeogenesis, which is the production of glucose in your liver. And so really you're experiencing the long-term effects of chronic heavy alcohol consumption. You develop type 2 diabetes from the alcohol.
I got you.
You have numerous medical conditions that are caused by the toxin.
I've drank like that my whole life.
Yeah, it's time to consider a new habit.
All right, doctor, I won't keep you any longer. I appreciate the help.
Hey, best wishes on your path to abstention.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Yes, have a great day.
Yes, we're still cooking with gas here. I've got Jenny and Chris and Scott. So let's go to Jenny in Tampa. Good morning, Jenny.
Hello. I appreciate your program, doctor, and I have a question. You were referring to neti pots?
Yes.
Hello? Yeah.
Yes.
And I have heard a couple of times that you should use distilled water in a neti pot because I saw an article where somebody developed some sort of brain problem or something from ingesting non-distilled water. So how come nobody mentions that?
Well, actually, it says it on the box of my neti pot when I look at it. The instructions there say that. But you don't have to use distilled. You can boil your water, too. If you boil the water and cool it down, that's fine. But you do not want to do tap water. I'm not recommending this, but I use ultra-filtered water. No biologics get through it, and so I'm not really concerned about my filtered water. But I do actually heat it up in a hot pot because I don't like to use cold water. So it does get boiled briefly, and that is enough to kill most organisms. So boiling or distilled is a much better choice. You don't want to use tap water ever.
Right. Okay. Thank you for confirming that. The other quick question I had was you were talking about lasers earlier.
Yes.
And I have read, in fact, I have a CD here, which I can't find right now, from some doctor who I think is a functional medicine doctor, talking about using laser for pain. And there are different types of lasers.
Yes.
And which one is recommended? Because I can't find the DVD right now. But Which one is the one that's recommended for pain? Is it something like it was a fast laser or a certain potency laser? There are different varieties, apparently.
Yes, it is the more potent laser that is the most effective. It's called a class 4 laser. Only a medical doctor, or here in Florida, a chiropractor or a acupuncture practitioner can actually use the class 4. Many physical therapists are using class 3, which is lower intensity and has really good evidence for helping with peripheral neuropathy, like diabetes-related foot pain. So there are lots of different ways to do it. And yes, lasers are quite effective at helping with pain.
So could I get a class 3 laser?
I think that almost anybody can buy a class 3 laser. It's a medical device that's not controlled from what I understand. Class 4, though, you'll need to go to a practitioner, and I can guarantee you that there's a vast difference between class 3 and class 4. I get pain relief on the first dose of a class 4, and it took 40 times to get relief on a class 3.
Oh, okay. Fortunately, I have a good friend who's a chiropractor.
Yes.
Is there any danger with using the laser? I know you shouldn't look at it.
Yes, absolutely. It can damage your eyes, and you can get burned if it's a high potency laser. The one that my chiropractor uses is a class 4. It's I think it goes as high as 5 watts, and this is the same power that you use for plastic surgery for burning tissue, but you use a different technique and a different lens so that you don't get burned. But if you hold it in one spot too long, or do it over top of a pigmented area, like especially a tattoo, those will absorb the heat and actually cause a burn.
Uh-huh. So you would say, just for my own use, it might be better to get a class 3.
I think that actually it'd be best to go see your chiropractor and get class 4 and get the job done fast.
Well, that's true. I wanted one of my own that I could use myself at home. So
I hear you.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Doctor. You answered my questions. Have a lovely day. And by the way, the rain has gone away. I just looked at the map. It's supposed to get sunny later.
Yes, it is. Sunny and windy.
All right. Have a good day. Thank you.
You too. You're welcome.
Well, we've just sort of entered the lightning round. I'm down to about the last 7 or 8 minutes, and I've got Chris from Clearwater here, and then Scott, and then Matt. Good morning, Chris.
Hey, good morning. Doctor, I was wondering if you treat with or aware of homeopathic remedies called nosodes to build antibodies against infections.
Nosodes are a tissue-based homeopathic. It's something that came out of Switzerland, I believe, and it usually uses organisms or organs and other things like that. Yeah, it's another type of homeopathy.
All right. Yeah, I was wondering about how effective they are. I'm just reading so many testimonials that sometimes they have great results in stimulating antibodies when people get an antibody titer, and some people they don't, but which is the same for the MMR shot. This is what I'm referring to. When I'm researching measles, I found a morbillinum nosode is supposed to help for that and help boost antibodies. So
that would be an interesting thing to look at, a study where they use a nosode like that in addition to the vaccine, to see if you could actually get better antibody responses instead of the usual toxic adjuvants that they throw on board.
Well, yeah, I'm wondering maybe, because there's about a 10% vaccine failure for the MMR vaccine, that about 3% of which are those who do seroconvert, meaning they do produce antibodies as shown by the antibody titer test, and then after a short time they lose their titers to be insufficient or insufficient to prevent infection or undetectable. And I think it'd be a great thing for folks to test their antibodies to see if they had a disease before from natural infection, which Germany allowed for the SARS-CoV-2, if you remember, that they allowed the mandatory COVID shots, which would make sense if they cared about immunity, not just getting shots in arms.
Yes, the way public health works is through epidemiology, and they discount the outliers and work for the top of the bell curve and think that if the bulk of the people get benefit and people on one side die and people on the other side get no benefit, you're going to help the bulk of the people. It's a kind of an interesting way of looking at things. But yeah, I agree that there should be some more thoughtful work on vaccines, and I think that RFK is going to be pushing on that. I think one of the most important things he did, though, this is probably why people don't respond to vaccines. It is bad nutrition. I talked about it in toxicity, and the issue I see is one of the best things he said so far is that he wants to block candy and soda from food stamps. Well, they're not food, so they shouldn't be on there in the first place. But a lot of people, like the American Beverage Council, which is a propaganda arm of Coca-Cola and Pepsi, they want you to buy this swill in a bottle that isn't food, and they want our tax dollars to pay for it. And there are lots of people who want it, who are actually on food stamps. But frankly, I don't care. It's not food. It shouldn't be provided. It should be banned 10 years ago. Why people can buy soda with food stamps is a mystery. But I think it's not really that much of one. It's just that our government is owned by beverage manufacturers. Thank you, Chris.
Well, that would be great for immunity. I mean, yeah, sugar is such an anti-nutrient, takes so many minerals to metabolize it. And
yes, sir. Hey, let me
dental issues.
Let me take one of the others before we have to go.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you. You too.
And thank you, Chris. Let's go to Scott in Safety Harbor. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning. Hey, I know you're down on time. I want your opinion on wild lettuce and some other thistles.
I'm not that much into wild crafting yet, but I'm getting there. But wild lettuce, I understand, is something that, you can use it. It can be used as a medicinal. Thanks for asking. I'm going to look that one up later.
Yeah, it grows all over the place.
It does.
Yeah, it's supposed to be good for pain. I just wondered if you knew anything about it. Thank you.
Well, actually, the lettuce seeds, celery seeds, they have some opioids in them, so they may actually have some effect that way. Interesting. I think I'll just answer another email or two. Here's one from somebody who texted. And I just want to mention this. If you text, I can't email you. If you email, I can answer these after the show. This person says, in the car, can't listen and call at the same time. Mother was diagnosed with a fascial tear. It's painful. So fascia is the covering of your muscles. It holds things together. It goes from tip to toe, and it involves everything. And if one piece of it gets painful, you can have a lot of your body be painful. And yes, red light laser is a thing that can be very helpful in this situation. It can really calm that area down. And some good supplements to take: fish oil, always for inflammation. Curcumin is another good one for inflammation. Proteolytic enzymes like wobenzyme, bromelain, these are good ones for inflammation. And topical, a massage with some oils, etc., that can be very useful. But this was a great show. Thank you for all the engagement. I really appreciate all your calls. And I really want to thank Bill for running the boards, and Irene for sticking with the phones, and all you people for supporting the show like you have and calling in and engaging, because I love answering your questions. Thanks again, and see you next week.
Well, and thanks aren't stopping yet. I want to thank you, Doctor, for another great show, and Irene, as always, for handling the calls. And to our listeners, everyone who participated and everyone who just hung on in there, and everyone who supported us during Pledge Week as well. I want to give a special shout out to WMNF for being a great community radio station. So to everybody out there, take care and stay healthy. You have been listening to the Healthy Steps Radio Show with Dr. Fred Harvey here on WMNF Tampa. Coming on up is 5 minutes of NPR News, and then, by golly, get ready for the Sustainable Living Show, hosted by the Disciples of Sustainability, Annie Ellis and Tanya Vidovic. Until next Monday at 10 a.m., thank you for supporting and listening to the Healthy Steps Radio Show with Dr. Fred Harvey here on WMNF Tampa, your community-conscious radio station. Stay safe, stay thoughtful, and know that you are loved.